The capital of the Persian Empire, Madain, was once one of the world's most powerful and wealthy cities. At the center of this city stood the famous White Palace of the Persian kings, and within its walls lay the vast treasures of the entire Persian Empire. After the Battle of Qadisiyyah, the Muslim army in the Persian Empire awaited orders from their caliph, Umar ibn Khattab, regarding their next course of action. Umar sent two letters from Medina, one instructing the army in the Roman Empire to advance towards Jerusalem and the other ordering the army in the Persian Empire to march forward until they conquered the Persian capital, Madain. Under the leadership of Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, the Muslim army swiftly moved towards the Persian capital, fully confident in their victory. It stemmed from a prophecy made by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, years earlier. During the early years of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, endured great persecution in Mecca while calling people to Islam. However, after the death of his uncle, Abu Talib, staying in Mecca became extremely dangerous for him. He was forced to leave in secrecy, accompanied by Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, as the Meccan leader Abu Sufyan announced a bounty of 100 camels for whoever captured or killed him. As they traveled, a man named Suraqa bin Malik, tempted by the bounty, set out to capture them. However, as he neared them, his horse suddenly stumbled and refused to move forward despite his efforts. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, turned to him and said, "O Suraqa, how will it be when the bracelets of the Persian king are placed on your wrists?" Suraqa was shocked. How could a man who was fleeing for his life speak of conquering the mighty Persian Empire? Yet years later, during the caliphate of Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, the Muslim army was marching rapidly toward the Persian capital to fulfill this very prophecy. However, conquering Madain was not an easy task. The surviving Persian forces from the Battle of Qadisiyyah had taken refuge in the fortified city. The young Persian king Yazdegerd III was inside the White Palace, preparing for his next move. A major obstacle in the Muslims' path was the famous Tigris River, which flowed in front of Madain. The Persian army, anticipating the Muslims' arrival, had destroyed the bridge and taken all the boats to the other side, making it nearly impossible for the Muslim army to cross. For days, the Muslim forces camped near the river, trying to devise a strategy to reach the capital. Yazdegerd used this time to gather all the empire's treasures, planning to flee before the Muslims could reach him. He even sent an offer to Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, proposing peace and allowing the Muslims to keep the lands they had already conquered if they agreed to stop their advance. Sa'd sent this offer to Caliph Umar in Medina, but Umar radiallahu anhu immediately rejected it. He knew that the Persians were only trying to buy time and would attack again at the first opportunity. By then, Yazdegerd had successfully gathered his treasures and was planning to escape within 3 days. However, before he could flee, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas learned of his plan. Realizing that they could no longer afford to wait, he called his army together and announced, "We cannot waste any more time. We must attack Madain immediately." He then asked, "Who among you will be the first to cross the Tigris River?" Crossing the river without boats was a dangerous mission, as the Tigris was one of the world's largest and deepest rivers. However, the Muslim soldiers were not afraid. Asim ibn Amr stepped forward and declared, "I will be the first to cross." Along with him, 600 soldiers, including his brother Kaka ibn Amr, volunteered to dive into the river. As they approached the water, they stood still for a moment, staring at the raging currents. They knew the chances of survival were slim. Many could drown before reaching the other side. The Persians, watching from across the river, were in disbelief. Having spent their entire lives near this river, they had never seen anyone attempt such a crossing. Then, in an incredible display of faith and courage, all 600 Muslim warriors leaped into the river, miraculously making it to the other side. Seeing this, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas ordered the entire army to follow. To inspire them, he himself was the first to jump into the water, followed by thousands of Muslim soldiers. The Persians were so terrified by what they saw that they started shouting, "The devils are coming!" Some even believed that the Muslim army was not human, but supernatural beings. Despite the odds, The Muslim army successfully crossed the river and surrounded Madain from all sides. However, when they entered the city, they found that Yazdegerd had already escaped, taking as many treasures as he could carry. His army had also fled, leaving only the civilians behind. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas then sent his companion, Salman al-Farsi radiallahu anhu, to speak to the people. Salman, being Persian himself, was deeply respected among them. Seeing how the Muslims had honored one of their own, the Persians began to realize that Islam was not a religion limited to Arabs, but one meant for all of humanity. Without any bloodshed, the Persian capital, one of the world's greatest cities for over 800 years, surrendered to the Muslims. This realization proved correct in the years to come, as many of Islam's greatest scholars and scientists emerged from Persia. Even today, Persia, Iran, remains one of the strongest centers of Islamic civilization. Just like Jerusalem, the Muslims had conquered this vital city without unnecessary violence. Upon entering Madain, the Muslim soldiers were astonished by the grandeur of its architecture. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas went straight to the White Palace of Khosrow, the Persian king. The ruins of this palace still exist today, a testament to its former greatness. Though Yazdegerd had taken much treasure with him, the wealth left behind was still immense. The Muslim army, numbering around 35,000, received 12,000 dirhams, each equivalent to about $27,000 today. Even after distributing this wealth among the soldiers, 1/5 of the treasures were sent to Medina, including the Persian king's golden bracelets and his legendary throne. When these treasures arrived in Medina, a massive crowd gathered to witness them. The Persian throne, made entirely of gold and embedded with jewels, left everyone in awe. Some suggested that this throne should now be used by the caliphs, but Ali radiallahu anhu strongly opposed the idea. Fearing it could lead future Muslim rulers toward pride and luxury, Caliph Umar agreed with Ali and ordered the throne to be dismantled and its gold distributed among the Muslims. Then, in fulfillment of the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, prophecy, he called Suraqa ibn Malik and placed the Persian king's golden bracelets on his wrists. The people were astonished, and Umar radiallahu anhu explained that this was done to honor the Prophet's words. After a moment, he told Suraqa to remove the bracelets and deposit them in the treasury. During the conquest of the Persian Empire, the Muslims also captured members of the royal family, including 3 princesses. Unlike other empires which would have mistreated them, the Muslims treated them with the utmost respect and arranged their marriages into noble Muslim families. One princess married the son of Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu. Another married the son of Umar ibn Khattab, radiallahu anhu. And the third, Princess Shahrbanu, married Hussein radiallahu anhu, the son of Ali radiallahu anhu. From this marriage, Imam Zain-ul-Abidin was born, a man whose lineage combined both the Persian and Islamic royal bloodlines. After conquering Madain, the Muslims continued pursuing Yazdegerd, eventually forcing him to flee Iraq and seek refuge in Persia. With his departure, Iraq came under complete Muslim rule. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas then wrote to Caliph Umar, asking what should be done next. Umar's response shocked everyone. "Enough is enough. The lands we have conquered are sufficient for us. My wish is that a wall be built between us and the Persians so that neither of us crosses into the other's land." Thus, the Muslim army halted its expansion, and Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas established Kufa, a new headquarters for Muslims in Iraq.